Hello, and welcome to the Medical Astrology, the Zodiac and the Human Body. This is part one, where we go through the signs and body connections. I am your host, who's going to be presenting this to you, Elenia Williams, and this is all brought to you by Luminiscent. Thank you so much for being here. Get comfortable. All right. If you have a notebook, pen, or you're using your notes app, that would be great as well, as this is a visual presentation. But if you want to sit and just listen, that's okay too. Let's dig in. All right. So let's get into the disclaimer. All right. With medical astrology. The information in this presentation is for educational and spiritual purposes only. It is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a licensed healthcare professional regarding any medical concerns or conditions. Medical astrology is a tool for self awareness, holistic understanding, and personal growth. It is not a substitute for professional medical care. By continuing, you acknowledge that you take full responsibility for your own health choices and well being. Because what is medical astrology? Definition: study of how zodiac signs correspond with body parts, functions, and health. The purpose is awareness, prevention, and holistic health or healing. So, how this section we're in is going to work, we're going to move through each sign from Aries to Pisces. And through each sign, we're going to cover each body part and its association, common imbalances or weaknesses associated with the sign, and holistic balance practices that will bring the best out of that energy. So, the cosmic body connection to astrology and herbalism. So, starting with the head, we have Aries, Taurus, the throat, Gemini, the shoulders, arms, lungs, hands, Cancer, breast, chest, stomach, Leo, heart, spine, back, Virgo, intestines, bowels, digestion, Libra, adrenal glands, buttocks, kidneys, Scorpio, genitals, menstrual, elimination, Sagittarius, hips, liver, thighs, Capricorn, bones, joint, gallbladder, Aquarius, ankles, calves, circulatory system, the veins, tunnels, okay, where air and water is able to move. Okay, Pisces, feet and bodily fluids, lymphatic system, okay, where everything gets cleaned out or dumped. So let's start with Aries. All right, the head, face, eyes. All right, this rulership with Aries: head, face, brain, eyes, okay, cheeks as well. The energetic qualities: fiery, impulsive, quick energy. Okay, that's what Aries is in motion. So, some imbalances here: headaches, migraines, sinus issues, eye strain, stress, and impatience leading to tension, all having to do with Aries or heavy Mars influence. Some practices that help level or balance: grounding, meditation, and intaking cool foods. So, if you have first house Aries, first house Mars placement, this will be very important for you to heed in your natal chart if you have that, because you can be more prone to things happening to your head or your face, acne included, if or whenever you feel completely stressed out and you're not allowing your energy to flow, your chi is not flowing. Okay, you're stopping it by being quick and impulsive instead of allowing yourself to relax and cool into it. All right. And this could also be true for Pluto risings as well, Scorpio risings, because it is Scorpio rising is associated with Mars, which is Aries' ruler that they share together. Let's move on. Taurus connects to the throat and the neck. So Taurus rulership: throat, vocal cords, the thyroid, tonsils, teeth. All right, actual teeth. The energetic qualities of Taurus has to do with stability, sensuality, and endurance. Okay, it is a fixed sign. So some ailments associated with Taurus energy is sore throats, thyroid issues, which is hormonal, Venus, or having a stiff neck or jaw. Overindulgence is an issue for Taurus. can result in being sluggish or having a sluggish digestion or having issues with moving your weight. If you're trying to lose or if you're trying to gain, it's really hard to do. Look at your Venus placement in your chart, okay, or where Taurus is being expressed, what house. So to bring balance here, we do breath work, all right, singing, which allows us to open up that throat chakra, allow energy to move through, and breath work with singing goes a long way. Mindful eating, being aware of what you take in. This goes into Virgo energy a bit, but being mindful of what you eat. Taurus talks about our immediate needs being met. So if you're mindful of what you're eating, you're also mindful with Taurus, with the throat and the neck, not to overindulge in things that's going to slow you down, slow your energy down, what's going to force you to lose your endurance or lose stability or lose any of your senses. Okay, your sense of mind, sense of pride, sense of whatever, don't eat it. So you got to be mindful of what you eat. Do you know what your body needs? Are you eating what your body needs, or are you just eating to indulge the senses? And to make sure you stretch your neck, pop, lock, and drop it. All right. So let's get into Gemini. Gemini rulership is the lungs, shoulders, arms, hands, the nervous system. Okay. That's the messenger in the body. Energetic qualities associated with Gemini: quick, restless, communicative. All right, so when there's an imbalance, we have to do with Gemini energy or heavy Gemini energy, scattered mercurial energy, anxiety, respiratory issues, carpal tunnel, nervous tension. Okay, all that can pop up very heavily with someone with a lot of Gemini placements, heavy Mercury energy, or some harsh squares, which will be coming from another mutable sign to Gemini, which would be Pisces or Sag. Like you have a lot of those placements and it's hitting your Gemini heart, or you may have transits that come in, like we're going, Uranus is in Gemini right now, but Uranus and Gemini might square your Sag placement, and you could have like a Sag placement in your first house or third house, whatever. But Uranus might square that Sag placement, and you might have to deal with a bout of anxiety or a little nervous tension or some type of quick respiratory issue that just moves through. Depending on how you respond to it, it could be very quick. You could recognize it and move on. So, a way of balancing out these things when it pops up is journaling, deep breathing exercise, regular exercise is basically getting in touch with your body, getting out of your head or out of your crown and into, your root, sacral, or solar plexus chakras, because you're basically grounding yourself through activity and movement in the body. With deep breathing as well is moving air throughout the body, so you're moving. And then the journaling part is your mind is exercising, your mind is moving, so you're releasing that air there. So next we have is our second cardinal sign, Cancer, which rulership is tied to the breast, chest, stomach, and digestive fluids. Okay. Energetic connection with Cancer: nurturing, emotional, psychic, protective, okay, reflective. So when we have imbalances in these areas, or we have some type of affliction in the chart in this area or with this sign or placement, there can come up stomach sensitivity, digestive upset from your emotions. Look out your sixth house transits. Chest and breast concerns could come up if you have any harsh aspects in your natal chart, like Saturn, Cancer, or something like that. You definitely want to be, sensitive about that. Okay, getting that checked out without, someone telling you got to be old enough. Like, nah, do what feels right for you. All right, so some ways we can balance this is to, of course, tap into Cancer's element, which is water, and heat up some herbal teas. Herbal teas. I have Jupiter Cancer in the 11th house. Let me tell you how much I love some herbal tea. And honey, especially when the honey is local, right? Local honey is good for, combating allergies. So, herbal teas, comfort foods, the healthy version of comfort foods, and some emotional healing work will actually help balance out the stomach issues, the digestive upsets, or any chest or breast concerns you may have. They can help with that. All right. So, next in the fixed sign category, we have the Leo. All right. Leo's rulership is the heart, spine, and the upper back. It also connects energetically with vitality, warmth, and dramatic energy. This is about making sure you're top performer or top performance, leadership in your energy. All right. So when there's an imbalance in Leo energy, this can create heart strain, high blood pressure, okay, hypertension, um, as well as strokes and things of that nature as well. Spinal tension. So this could be lower back pain, mid back pain, upper back pain, shoulder pain, even as well, connecting with that Gemini energy, feeling like you're responsible for the community that you're in, right? And your heart is not feeling the love. So your back starts to feel like it needs that space to be lifted up or lifted out. And that's where we oh, that's where we get into the healing parts, which is heart opening yoga, okay, compassion practices, and creative play. This is about tapping into our inner child. Leo energy, fifth house, rules entertainment. Okay, entertainment is about us expressing joy, finding joy in our life. All right. So if you have some harsh Leo aspects, or you have Saturn Leo or Saturn in the fifth house, these are some things you want to be mindful of. And Leo is a sign because it's ruled by the sun. You need a lot of water, a lot of water, a lot of water, lots of water, Leo energy. So looking at Virgo, rulership of intestines and the digestion process, assimilation. All right. This is the process where after we've eaten the food and it's gone through a breakdown process with our teeth, we're digesting the food, it's going through our intestines. So this is where we get our nutrients. There's there's an energy exchange where we're pulling in the vitamins, the minerals that our body needs. And we're also pulling in, the fat as well. So this is the part where if you made the right decision or not, because based on what you eat, if you're being a mindful eater in Taurus, the first earth sign, when we hit the second earth sign, it's going to show up in your reality that you made the right choice with what you chose to eat. You're being mindful of what you ate, because your digestive system is going to tell you whether or not you made the right decision mindfully, or if it's something you need to learn to be mindful of in the future. If you didn't know, you end up knowing 111. And another thing is Virgo energy is tied to being analytical, detail focused, and service oriented. All right. So whenever there's an upset in this area of your chart, or there's a overemphasis of Virgo energy, could be also Pluto Virgo, you can have issues with digestive upset, IBS, or some other digestive illnesses, or food sensitivities, having to deal with allergies. You can have anxiety related stomach issues as well, like Crohn's disease. And the only way to balance this out is to service yourself, be detail focused with yourself, be analytical about what you're assimilating in the mind as well as in the body. So you want to have routine meals. You want to have an herbal digestive support system linking back to Cancer, the moon, being in tune with the water in your body, and having grounding rituals, a bedtime ritual, an awakening ritual, and a ritual when you eat, a ritual when you cook, a ritual when you are getting ready for work, when you're leaving work. Those are things that help you ground. Now, Libra, its rulership is connected with kidneys, the bladder, skin, balance, lumbar region, and the spinal cord. Energetically, it's linked to harmony, relationships, and equilibrium, balance, right? And this is balance. And the ear is where the sense of balance is actually held. It's in the ear. And again, this is another thing that has to do with giving and receiving. Kidneys make sure that the body has a balance of water. The bladder is where the filtering process empties out into before it's released by Scorpio, but we'll get into that next. The lumbar region of the body is where balance, equilibrium sits. And that's actually the part of most humans where they end up having back pain. Most of it is the lumbar region. This is and do I have the ability to balance my life? Do I have all the rooted structures in place to be able to move forward in life? Do I have enough support in my relationships? Do I have a lot of emotional support in my relationships to withstand things? Okay. Do you have Saturn? Are you a part of the Saturn Pluto Libra generation in your chart? Do you see that? Do you have Saturn in the seventh house or Saturn Libra? So whenever you have issues in your relationships, or you've watched and absorbed a lot of issues play out in relationships in your younger life, especially in your parents' marriage if they were married, this can come up as kidney or bladder issues, having a weak bladder, lower back pain, skin imbalances as well. Okay, this is about how we are perceiving others perceiving us. Is coming back. The inflammation about who we are, Aries, being affected, our self-esteem, Libra, how we look at Venus. So how we can balance this, or heal this rather, hydration. Okay, this is steam more than just drinking water. This is fruits. This is Venus energy, all right? This is sauna, okay? Herbal teas. So you can have the herbal teas with the steam hydration, right? Balance between work and rest. Having a good home work balance. Having a good, being a good wolf. All right. And the wolf archetype is about being part of the community, but also knowing that you're still a lone wolf at the end of the day. You're part of a pack, but you're still your own wolf. Kidney energy. Looking into Scorpio, this is where the rulership taps into reproductive organs, the bladder as well as an exocrine organ, and the colon, where we release waste, all right? Waste that the body doesn't need to carry around anymore. Energetic qualities associated with Scorpio is intensity, transformation, deep healing. You ever had some bubble guts and then you had to use the bathroom and you were kind of constipated? Intense, transformative, deep healing. Yes, yes, yes. Now, whenever we have any inflictions with Pluto or Scorpio in our chart, whether it's a transit coming by or something we have to learn to live with and heal, we can show some signs of imbalances with reproductive health issues, infections, or elimination problems, not being able to use it, not being able to get rid of waste out of your body, whether it's sweat or tears, not just poop or pee. Okay. But your sweat glands and stuff like that, or overproduction, you getting rid of too much, also an elimination problem when you can't get rid of all of it or you're getting rid of too much. So the way that we can pull or get this water element in balance is to do a detox ritual. Okay, do some shadow work as well, because doing detox and shadow work, and as well as growing in your sexual health awareness, which is really extending from the inside of your body to your environment. Doing all these together as a great combo will help you on so many different levels advance and quantum leap into a livelihood that you really purposed for yourself, because Scorpio relates to Pluto, and Pluto is about our personal power. And then the fact that all of us have equal power and we're all made from the same power. Pluto is generational. So it's like during moments of time, it's all of us being born with the same gifted power, because we're all gifted that power in order to transform Earth and create a gap in the time system in the 4D at least, where things start to shift from 4D down to the first D. All right. We're here as, for example, Pluto Scorpio generation to get rid of or remove the taboo when it comes to detox and shadow work and sexual health awareness. We are the ultimate eliminators of elimination problems as a generation. So wherever you have Pluto in your chart, that'll give you a big heads up on what your generation came here to eliminate or transform. And if it's in Leo or Virgo or Scorpio or Sag or Capricorn, and then the upcoming alpha is going to be Aquarius because we got Pluto Aquarius now. Them going to be the most psychic children ever. But mostly because of pattern recognition. But what I'm saying is, look at your natal chart. Sagittarius, rulership connects with the hips, the thighs, the sciatic nerve, and the liver, gallbladder. This is about our will to live, our reason for being. Ninth house. Energetic qualities connected with Sag is adventurous, expansive, and also restless. It's fire, and it's a fire that spreads. It's a mutable sign. So whenever there's issues in this region, ninth house, Jupiter placement, heavy Sag or squares from Pluto, not Pluto, but from Pisces or Gemini. I'm sorry, opposition from Gemini, square from Virgo. Definitely square from Virgo. Whenever you're not paying enough attention to wherever Sag is trying to get you to look, you can have hip pain, sciatica, or an overindulgence in alcohol, which affects the liver, or an overindulgence in sugar, which affects the liver. And that's something I talked about in part 2. So in order to get this together, Sagittarius, heavy energy, or Sag first house, Jupiter ruling the first house or the ninth house or the sixth house, outdoor activity, stretching, being mindful of what you indulge in, because let's be real, Jupiter is jovial. It's, the planet that is associated with luck. Okay. Right place, right time, serendipity. You have to be mindful of still where you walk. You still have to be mindful of how you're driving. You still have to be mindful of how you move your body. And the hips and the thigh and the buttocks, sciatica, all that area is like the belt of our bodies where a lot of our weight sits. Okay. It takes a lot of strength to hold all that together. All right. So if your will to live or your liver is weak, it can affect how you feel supported physically. It'll affect how you feel about yourself emotionally with the thighs, the hips, where we store our emotions. So you got to be very mindful of that. All right. Let's move on to Capricorn. Rulership, skeletal system, knees, joints, teeth. And I know I did associate teeth with Taurus as well, but they kind of, they work together here. Energetic qualities of Capricorn, discipline, structure, enduring. Okay. Don't play around. Kind of serious, but so serious that they know how to make a very, very great but dark joke. So wherever we have over accumulation of Capricorn or a rough Saturn placement in the chart, or a lot of squares from Aries to Capricorn, even, this could give way to imbalances that could show up like arthritis, joint pain, dental issues, or if you have a hard or a heavy Capricorn in your chart, it could definitely mean dental issues or some stiffness in the body, like lupus. So, in order to bring balance into the Capricorn energy of our lives or in our chart, we want to make sure we're doing weight bearing exercises. Make sure we're taking in calcium rich foods, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D3 all go together. All right. With iron as well. And then you can't forget the vitamin C that allows you to absorb it first. And being mindful of your posture, being aware of how you stand. Okay. Not only physically, but also spiritually with yourself. How do you stand with yourself is going to tell you a lot about life and how you play it. Okay. And that's what all of this self help, self sovereign attitude, being self aware, and being entrepreneurial, all that being put into full drive 2020 because Saturn had to return to Capricorn, its home sign, but it was also a huge purge with Pluto and Mars and the Sun all in Capricorn as well. Everyone kicked off a new path while the world or time as we knew it was ending. That was already put in place. So if during that time you had any of these issues, or since then you had any of these issues, check your chart, see what Capricorn is. That'll explain a lot. Aquarius. Rulership connects with the calves, ankles, the circulatory system, that is the wind moving with the water, the nervous system as well, because Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury, which also connects us with our nervous system, and the electrical part being the synapses, basically, that part, and then the heart as well. Some energetic qualities, innovation, unconventional. You never know when the electricity is going to pop, but you know it is. All right. And humanitarianism is also connected with Aquarius because this is about our library knowledge. Okay. Knowing things, knowing about something is a human characteristic that we use to create network or circulation, like a newspaper or social media. So, when there's an imbalance in this area of our chart, there's poor circulation. You can have varicose veins, or you can have a lot of ankle injuries, anything below the knee but above the foot. Aquarius. Okay. I will also add in being having cold feet or cold hands. Also has to do with circulation. As I say that with my feet being cold, but I'm sitting kind of like. But headaches as well. Headaches and Aquarius, just like Leo, has to drink a lot of water because Leo, sun, heat, Aquarius, electricity, needs water. Okay, it can ground through the bones and the physical matter, yeah, the harder matter, yes, but it also needs water so it can move fluidly. Okay, so another way to add to that balance is to walk, ground through herbal teas for circulation. Okay, blood cleansers as well will also help. Having a lymphatic drainage, which we'll get into with the next time, but that also helps. Exercise helps because, like walking, because it's forcing your body to move parts. And then moving the parts, you move the lymph around. And then when you're moving the lymph around, the lymph is collecting dirt that's in your body that's been collected that needs to be spat out. And then when you do a lymphatic cleanse, you get all of that out. So last but not least, Pisces. Pisces rulership connects us with the feet, the toes, the immunity, and lymphatic system. I was just speaking on in Aquarius. So some energetic qualities here: dreamy, sensitive, empathic. Okay, Pisces connects with movies, music. Okay, that the things that tap into our emotions, that have the ability to control us almost. All right, you want to put yourself into a tizzy or a spell, like listen to a certain song and get you in the mood, like you're hypnotizing yourself. All right. So when you're not standing firm in your spiritual gifts, you can have some foot pain, edema, which is you holding water in your body, immune sensitivity. So there's some allergies coming up, some resistance, right? You're resisting the physical. So the spiritual is like, you don't know, especially with Pisces, like you don't know what or where it's coming from, but it's showing up. Okay, that's usually what happens with allergies. You got to do the Virgo investigation to figure out what it is. Escapism related illnesses. Okay, so that could be addiction, alcoholism. That can also be absent mindedness, like intentional absent mindedness. This can also be criminal activity because you're trying to escape the route of doing Virgo, the daily grind, and you're trying to skip and do some physical, but yet still magical abracadabra move of stealing or doing some type of theft, criminal activity in order to gain something through illegal ways. Um, that's a part of escapism. It's a drug. It can get you to hallucinate or believe that you're above the law. A lot of people have stories in movies where the bad guy doing things, eventually they get caught because they start to live in this lifestyle or this illusion that they're invisible or invincible. They can escape, you know, the Capricorn. They think they can escape Saturn, but Saturn has to go through Pisces too. You got to clean your feet. At some point, you got to take care of your feet. At some point, you got to start wearing more comfortable shoes. At some point, you got to start getting them foot massages. Okay. At some point, you got to learn how to take a break when you're walking. At some point, we're gonna accept the fact that standing for 68 hours on a work shift is inhumane. Inhumane. So therefore, we have pedicures, we have foot soaks, we have reflexology, meditation, artistic therapy, also singing, making movies, making art, drawing, painting, all these different ways, creating music, creating sound, you know, like taking it back to the parts of us that's just invisible, but we can feel. Pisces, all right? So, whenever there's a hyper focus on Pisces energy or a lack thereof, even if you lack a lot of water or you lack strong Neptunian energy, but you have heavy Mercurial or heavy Virgo, um, that's how this stuff can play out. You can have foot pain when you make a decision to go down a path that you really don't want to do. And if you feel negative about yourself, about the illusion that you're connecting to, you're escaping out of just taking responsibility and changing your life by allowing yourself to go further and further into making a huge and more huge mistake that you already realized 5 mistakes ago. And then blaming yourself for it, that's how you develop immunity, sensitivity issues. All right. And therapy goes a long way. So it's better to be prepared than to not know at all, right? If you plan, if you was it if you prepare to if you plan to prepare, then you won't be then you'll be won't be I forgot, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. Staying healthy, preventative care is the focus. I don't care what health industry you're in, whether it's Eastern, Western medicine, preventative care should always be the main focus of anybody that's trying to make sure that they're getting their lives together and being healthy. Being preventative goes a long way. Staying healthy begins with prevention. We encourage regular checkups, early screening, and healthy habits to detect potential issues before it becomes serious. A proactive approach helps reduce long term risk and support healthier life overall. So, by promoting preventative care, we aim to shift the focus from treating illness to maintaining wellness. Simple steps like a routine health check or lifestyle guide changes can make a significant difference in identifying concerns early and avoiding more complex treatment later. Prevention not only saves time and cost, but also leads to better sustained well being. All right. Make sure you know what your primary care, what their beliefs are and how they handle situation when it comes to health. Make sure they align with yours. And if not, just find someone who does. So some signs in the body, key takeaways. Each sign governs a body region or organ, and weaknesses show where stress manifests. So if you have a weak placement with a planet in a sign or a planet in the house, those are some examples of weaknesses showing where stress can manifest. Even in a transit chart where you can be overall healthy with that particular placement in your chart, but there may be a square or opposition or even a conjunction that could take place to cause inflammation. So it's best that we balancing practices that are holistic and preventive at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Next, we're going to get into planets and their medical symptoms and how that shows up in our chart. The planets are about deeper patterns behind our health issues. That's what we're looking at here. If you want to contact to look over your chart, You can contact me, Alania, here with my email. I am liminiscent@gmail.com. In an hour or less or more, you can learn the meaning of the signs, planet, houses, just like we're doing right now. If you want to do a one-on-one, again, just reach out to me via email. Thank you so much for being a part of this presentation. I hope it landed well for you and you were able to gain a lot of knowledge or expand even in the wisdom you already hold. Peace.